What's up, guys? Welcome to our first episode of this podcast.
It is the first, yeah. We've been trying to do this for a while, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's because no one knows about our secret episode of the podcast that will never
That's
be
true.
revealed.
That's true.
You can only watch it from individual POVs.
Yes.
Maybe one day we'll release it behind a paywall or something,
We'll release a video game version of our podcast.
There we
You can
go.
play as any one of us.
And it's like choose your own story.
Yeah.
Sega!
So what's up, guys? I haven't seen the newest episode of WandaVision, so just so you know, I really love you guys because Shayla had turned it on for me to watch after I laid the kids down, and instead I was like, no, babe. I'm going to go talk to Collin and Nathan.
Aw. This would be the night to watch it for us, too, but my wife left me, so...
Whoa.
temporarily.
Okay.
Oh!
So
Yeah.
nonchalantly. Like, yeah, no, my wife left me, so not going to watch WandaVision.
Yeah.
You know, I had it coming, so...
That's cool. Okay, so you have plenty of time to talk.
I can stay up all night.
So, I was just going to bring up that it's pretty crazy that we've been live for 10 months. 10 official months, because it was April 2020.
Yeah.
That we finally made the push, because we'd been working on stuff before that. We
Yeah.
were just always like, it's not quite perfect. Yeah. And we were saying it's not quite perfect for about almost 10 months.
Yeah. I think it's funny how much, like, in the 4 weeks that we released season 1, so, like, 3 episodes and a few shorts and stuff, how much editing and stuff we did while we were releasing things. Like, we busted our butts to get stuff done. We, like, filmed new versions of things just to, like, piece things together. And I think working under the deadline was actually really good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps.
And then COVID hit, and it was just like... It was just never seen by anybody, except for maybe word of mouth. But we didn't go public until April, and we had been talking since March of the previous year. So it's crazy to see this progress. Having picked up immediately after I moved back, and still prevalent today. I mean, we're talking. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We're, I guess, starting our 3rd season. I would say this would be the start of our 3rd season, right?
Yeah.
Technically, yes. Because we're counting any content we can make, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
When did we start season 2? Or start releasing it?
We did a lot of filming in August.
That was for the first season, because that was Dog Tour. Remember we were sweating so much?
That was the previous year.
Yeah, that was
season 1 that we were doing in August.
So, no, August of 2020.
2019. You're
Right.
talking of first.
I'm talking about 2019. But did we start season 2 also in August of the following
I
year?
think so.
Something like that,
Yeah.
give or take.
Oh, so we still have a couple months before we start season 3.
I think that the humongous gap has hurt us because...
Okay.
I mean, season 1 had a much larger response than season 2.
Yes. And the gap. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about at first, but I thought that was COVID related when you said gap. But now I know what you mean. Yes, time hurt us. Yeah. Time off. I think time off hurt Kevin James. If you see his recent YouTube posts, it's nothing compared. The view count is nothing compared to what it was in the summer.
It's pretty cool to be able to relate to him, so...
Yeah.
Well, and we have the Canaan brothers in common. So.
Right.
We do.
Exactly.
We do. I mean, they have technically interacted with some of our content.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, they all follow, at least some of them follow all of us.
Yeah.
I think all of them follow Collin, and then a couple of them, follow us.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't have to, like, break it up and, like, specifically say, Joey.
I'm just being real. I mean, it's not like they're all following me, and then like, who's this Collin? Oh, huh. We'll give him a shot.
That's definitely not what happened.
Yeah. No, was that not August? When we did the like August 28th, we did that video. We did some stuff at Joey's house. We did all those TikToks. where I'm like in a tank top, so it
Oh
was
yeah, in the
clearly
garage
midsummer.
and out on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably August then. We might have even started some in July. But
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know the softball clips we did a couple
Yeah.
different times, and then I did some reshoots, and then we did the voices later. So it was over the
And
course.
we improvised some really fun projects during that time, like the like
yeah.
Emmy singing. That just like I love how that came about, dude. That was fun.
That was not planned at all.
No.
And then we're like, hey, what's something like? I was like, what if I pretended to do this? And so then we posted
Yeah.
the one of just me, like, it's really missing. Like, what if we had both of your voices in there too? It's like that's my favorite almost one of my favorite pieces of the content I think that we've made so far. It's probably that, and then the one that we helped you make, just your reaction to the brothers following you.
That one I liked the editing. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that one was also just kind of spur of the moment. You were just telling us, like, you guys, you're not going to believe it. Mm-hmm. Guess who followed me? Oh, never mind. Guess who unfollowed me?
I know.
And I'm like, you should make a video about it. And you're like, I'm not sure. Like, no, Collin, we will help you.
Right,
And that was so much fun.
Yeah.
I like how everybody was pretty much ad-libbing that whole thing, too.
I know.
Like, there were planned parts and a lot of input, but everybody was so ready to try anything. I loved it.
Like, I was like, what if I just fall on the ground? Like, oh, okay. Like, as a stunt, not as, like, actually falling on the ground, Collin.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's fun about working with you guys, too, is just the free flow. One of my favorites to film, I think probably I don't know. It's the most vibrant to me, but that would be Sippy Cup. I just liked, and maybe because it's all three of us on camera at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like so vibrant to me because it's the only time I feel like we've done that, which is so unfortunate.
And I really want to do that again where I'm not directing for the first time, because I felt like I didn't really get to enjoy and fully be in the moment, because I was constantly worried, what's the next shot going to be? Did I put the camera really where I wanted it? And so I still really enjoyed it. I'm just excited to do it again sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think what's cool about all of our projects is we've done so many things. Like, very few of them have been the same or have had the same director if they are the same type of thing. And so every single thing we've learned from. We've done sort of stop motion and voiceover work a few different ways. We've done big production studio stuff. We've done stuff outdoors. We've done short skits. We've done short films.
Yeah.
And each thing we had to learn, and we had to learn dynamics between us and how to do. I mean, each of us have learned some editing techniques through all these things, and
Yeah. I mean, even like it was at different times because it was voiceovers, but we basically did improv as well with voicing over Emmy's music video.
Yeah.
Because like as it was going, I was just improvising. I was going pretending what you guys were saying, and then you guys reacted to my pretend reactions.
Yeah.
And so we've kind of done every form of video. It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, before we go on, I hope you don't mind that I'm casual for you guys. It's a podcast, so nobody's gonna know I'm wearing pajamas. Yeah, so just listening. So.
I did not even realize that was pajamas until you pointed it out, and now that I see it, I can't not see it.
Yeah. I have nothing top pajama wise. Nothing. I'm all bottom when it comes to PJs. All bottom pants.
You are all bottom.
I don't think so. Actually, I need to work on that a little bit. But
I broke up my fancy pajamas for you guys.
Yeah,
no
doubt.
It's pretty special.
I call Katya calls these my Dick Van Dyke pajamas.
Oh, totally.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that we're able to talk again, because I like just talking to you guys and we always get to do it. So many things have come across my mind recently, and I've been thinking, like, I want to see what the guys think about this, like what their take on these things would be. Like, did you guys hear, we were talking about generations the other day, and you know how there's like Generation X, and then there's I think there's Generation Y, and then there's the Millennials, that's us, and then there's Generation Z, and then some of us are having kids now, and somebody brought up, they're like, what generation is our kids? Do you guys know this?
No.
They're Generation Alpha.
Why? What's the reasoning behind that?
We started over.
Oh.
I know. I feel like because nobody's announcing this new generation Alpha.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, what do the naming people know that we don't know?
Yeah. I mean, because like there's that whole theory, about the Illuminati and the Great Reset.
Exactly. They gave up on the rest of us.
Wow.
The millennials didn't work out. We're started with these guys. We introduced a big virus. We tried to kill off the boomers. We'll find another way to get the millennials, and we're hoping for these generation Alpha. I know.
Interesting. Well, I wonder if there's anything biblical to back that up with.
Probably not. No, I don't know.
It's probably like, well, we already went down to X, Y, Z, and millennium. It's because it's the new millennium. Okay, cool. Can't really call them Generation COVID.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could, but
maybe they predicted Generation Alpha, like the reset, to happen around the 2000s, around the new millennium, and then they're just like, we'll start here. And hopefully it'll be around 2000. So
that actually makes sense. It's sort of see, there's still Generation Z, which are after 2000. But that makes sense.
I thought that you said it wrong too. I've heard that like 85 to 95 is millennium, and then we would be X. I've never heard of a Y. I've only heard of X and Z. I've never heard of a Generation Y actually.
Well, when were you born, Collin?
95.
Okay, so we're millennials either way, but
I was also thinking that there's a trade-off in that year. 95 to 2005 would be like Gen X or Gen Z.
I think there is. But Gen X is before us for sure. I know that's like people born in the 80s. Like I think it's 80 or 81 and before that. Or what you said, 85 or something.
Yeah. Because I heard this comedian do a stand-up joke, and he goes, he was like probably 35. And he was like, I absolutely hate millennials. I always talked crap about them. And then he goes, until I looked up what a millennial actually was, and then I didn't hate them so much because I realized I was a millennial.
I think I saw a clip of that guy on TikTok.
Did you? Okay. All right. Yeah.
Who is that? Yeah.
I don't know. Remember. I've never heard of him. I don't know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is earlier. It's not like Gen Z is what we think of as millennials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we're actually millennials, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering how you guys would feel to try and get more interaction with people, just because, there was the gap in the amount of posting that we did. So that's dropped off interaction. I was trying to think of ways besides, making content, which is something we've obviously all agreed we need to do, is thinking how to boost interaction. We did have one person, pitch us an idea for a video, and we're still trying to see how we can. Yeah. I guess there's been a couple. One of them, the one that I'm thinking of specifically, is the microwave one.
They actually sent us a script.
Yeah.
That's true.
Shout out to Dave. But I was wondering how you guys would feel if we did that more, or would that be kind of dangerous? But if we were like almost did like a not Mad Libs, but something where it's like, okay, you guys fill in these two blanks or one of these blanks, and then we have to make a skit off of it.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that you said that, because I was actually watching a video today by Gus Johnson. You know what I'm talking about? And he was on an app called Stereo. You guys know Stereo? It's like a podcast thing. I've been seeing ads for it. And it's like,
yes.
part of it's like...
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Part of it, I think you can be like, do live podcasts, but people can also record themselves and interact with you. And so they were taking skit ideas. They wanted 12 lines, and so people sent in their voice recorded lines, and then they had to make a plot out of these lines. And then they made the skit at the end of the video.
Really?
Wasn't this video just posted? And in the thumbnail, it says, like, written by you?
Something like that.
Yeah. I think I saw that post. I didn't watch it, though. Yeah. But I should.
I think it was like 2 days ago, yeah.
Yeah. I should.
Man, I feel so out of the loop with everything you guys are talking about. I don't know the categories of what makes you what generation. I have no idea what stereo is or who Gabe Johnson is.
Well, we still wanted to invite you to our podcast.
Thanks.
Joey, do you want to talk about like being a dad in this group? Like,
because we don't know about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, it's basically it's helped me a lot in how to deal with you children.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but seriously.
Yeah. It has been a very fun creative outlet to be able to deal with you guys. Or not deal with you guys. That was from the joke before. But to have fun with you guys. I mean, to have fun with friends, because it's something that, it becomes more rare since we're usually pretty busy with kids. But it's also, it's kind of tough because they are, over you guys in priorities. I hate to say it, love you guys, but I love them.
Yeah. No, rightly so.
Yeah, so it's always tough to balance deadlines, brain space, energy.
Yeah.
So that's been a challenge off and on, and I've been pretty grateful to be able to work with you guys to where you've always been pretty patient with me. Even if you haven't felt patient, you haven't lashed out at me.
No.
So.
We save that for each other.
Yeah.
And then, even then, it's not lashing out. I've never taken an aggressive tone,
It's more just like a few times, but
yeah. Which is very funny for me to watch, but then I'm also like, hey, I probably shouldn't join in, because.
No, you need to join in, Joey. You have a very calming presence. No, we do great.
Yeah, no, I really like it. I mean, I feel like being a dad doesn't make me funnier or anything like that within the group. So I feel like it probably pulls me away from it more than anything. But it also makes me enjoy the group.
Yeah.
Just because you guys are some of the few friends that I get to hang out with and that I try to purpose time to set aside.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys. Mm-hmm.
It's not only like just a friend thing, but it's being creative in that space with those people. That does something chemically to your brain too. That dopamine, whatever.
Yeah. No, and it was good timing too when we started. I mean, because like Nathan and I had been talking off and on for years, ever since we made those VBS videos.
Yeah.
For I think 2 years back to back. Then we were talking about, and actually the first time that we made VBS videos, we were talking about making the Salem show someday because it was an idea that you had. Like, hey Joey, we're making this stuff.
After we visited CCTV.
Yeah.
Or I had.
No doubt.
And so then when all three of us, because Collin moved back, then all three of us were starting to make stuff. It was perfect timing for me because I was having to do, I was having different responsibilities at work where I wasn't able to make as many videos as I was before. And it was fun because I got to actually be pretty creative at work with my videos as well. And so that outlet was going away. And then this came in and transitioned. So I still got to be creative with videos and thinking, how am I going to do this? Or just coming up with stuff. So it was definitely a blessing. You guys are a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely is an outlet for me too. Because you can see I have lots of guitars. Yeah. It's this way. But I'm busy too, right? And I don't always find time to sit down and play them and write things. But then this gives me an opportunity to write a theme song or write a little backtrack or something.
Your song for softball, I love it so much.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Little Randy Newman came over me there and just went with it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, but Collin, this is obviously actually, I feel like pipe reels is sort of a hobby for you, but you also do the same thing as sort of your job. I mean, you have a job, but then you have an active social media presence that is successful, and that's sort of a job. And then you have this, which I hope is an outlet.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I've stuck around. Clearly, I mean. It would be really hard for me to take a job or take an apartment out of Salem because I feel established with you two here. Mm-hmm. You two and Phil would be are considered heavy anchors for me to stick around. and to see what happens. Even if I were to gain more success in my personal stuff, that would still be hard to just drop what we've established here. But you guys have been beneficial to me. You guys have challenged me in, so many different ways. That can only be good. Like, that is the attitude I have to have. Is it's only good challenges. You guys haven't brought any negative challenges to me, so.
I'll have to try harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say it's been cool to. Oh, thanks, Nathan. Thanks. Appreciate it. To be a part of a group with you, because then it feels like, because you've always been a friend of mine ever since we were super little, but to be like, oh yeah, I'm part of a group with Collin, and like look at the success that he's having. It's clearly nothing to do with me that you now have 3 million followers on TikTok, but to be like, I'm part of a group with him and he still wants to hang out with me. Yeah. Like, that makes me feel really cool that Collin still wants to be my friend and make stuff with me, even though he's a TikTok celebrity. You
haven't joined a hype house or anything.
Right.
You still want to be with us.
Yeah. I consider it an honor for it to be an honor. It goes both ways that way. For somebody to be so excited. I just had somebody probably 3 weeks ago meet me in public, shaking, taking a selfie with me. And that meant a lot to me. What? Just seeing the nervousness, the not anticipation, but agitation, excitement that just meant a lot to me. So
I'm excited to potentially become a lobbyist for people, because I've had some people message me now to be like, hey, can you connect me with Collin? I'd like to do something with them. Yeah, wow. And so I'm excited to potentially be paid to then try to be an influence on you from them, like politicians. So I'm excited about my future.
Yeah.
You know a guy.
Yeah.
I could put you in contact, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for the future of all three of us. I think all three of us will find some sort of popularity or success. Even if it's varying on level, it'll still happen. It'll still be recognized,
Yeah, and ultimately, even if it's only like 50 people for me, like, it's still been really fun for me to do, and I like being able to be creative with music and with videos, and it's helping me develop my skills, because I've done it personally, which then helps me be able to do it for work and get paid, which then helped me develop it to be better. So when we started Piper Studios, I was jumping into it versus being a complete amateur when we started as a group.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, even if it's just our Facebook friends, for me, that's enough. I've gotten to check off some bucket list things. I've wanted to interview a couple people. I've wanted to record a few musical artists, and we got to do that on the Salem show. Tracy Hodgson and me, and it's been pretty great.
That's cool.
Saying that, I would not complain if Piper Studios also started having 3 million followers. But
I know.
No. Hint, all 3 million of you watching.
Yeah,
well, dude, seriously, that would depend on frequency. I honestly think that is what's missing.
Yeah.
Is frequency. Mm-hmm. I've posted 5 TikToks today.
Yeah, which is something that I would like to do with our. I'd like to do with our podcast, different things like this. That's more long form, because it's what I do for our church right now is. After the sermon on a Sunday night, so before I go back to work in the morning, I'll sit down and I'll rewatch the sermon, and I'll cut off, hey, this would potentially be a good chunk. And so I whittle it down from 40 minutes down to about 12 minutes with different chunks, and I'll label each chunk as, hey, this is a potential standalone thing. And then from there, I fine tune every single one of those pieces, and then I schedule it out for the next 3 months to post 1 minute or 40 seconds of each clip at a time. So I'd love to be able to do that as we make more and more long form content, if we have any good small pieces to be able to do that. Because that would help us with the frequency as well, even if it's not well-rounded skits that we're putting out.
Yeah.
And with the podcast, we're a little more able to meet.
Yeah.
To align our schedules too.
Yeah, and this time, because of ice, I'm not there with Collin, but it'd make it a little bit easier, even editing wise, if at least 2 of us were there in person and Nathan's still up north.
And also because of ice, I wasn't at work, which would have made this harder too. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And there's also been some discussion on whether or not we can still kind of meet now. That was something I think we wanted to mention on the podcast as well, is that some of us are looser than others with the compliance, I guess, or
playing fast and loose with COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which makes it difficult, but I kind of wanted, in the last few minutes we have here, to get into the future of Pipe Reel and kind of what they can expect from us.
Yeah. Well, I'd like us to be an example for the nation to follow, where even though all three of us may have different opinions about COVID or opinions on what things we should do to protect ourselves from COVID, that we're still able to get along and we're still able to have fun with each other. And so, so we'll have different forms of content based on, what our personal preferences and opinions are. Yeah. But I'm excited to still be able to work around those things. It doesn't mean we're done. Instead, let's be creative. Let's make sure, we're preferring each other and still having fun.
Yeah. I think we could do it. We've exercised our creative muscles before.
It's, adapting. It's adapting. We've done well at like adapting to what happens around us, like, or nationally. And so I'm excited to kind of, like, we're still adapting to COVID. It's not like we've arrived there, right? We're still, like, evolving in COVID.
Well, and it's constantly changing. Our capability to respond to COVID keeps changing, and what they're finding out about COVID keeps changing. So,
and our willpower to keep responding to COVID fluctuates too as it lasts longer.
Yeah.
And on top of that, each of us have lives and to have to deal with, like Collin with changes in employment, Nathan with promotions or possible promotions at work sometimes, me with health issues and with fostering. It's
fires.
Like on top of COVID. COVID's not the only thing. Yeah, with the wildfires that happened.
Yeah.
And we have there's that little glimmer of hope this year with COVID, like, oh, maybe just everything will sort of be better and then we can do things normally. And there's do we plan for that and wait, or do we just kind of try to do things now? Got less than a minute, huh?
What I'm excited about is the stuff that we're planning right now. One is stuff that we'll be able to potentially produce quicker, but also it's stuff that if COVID was just to vanish, it wouldn't be like all this content is no longer relevant. It would just be easier to make that content. Mm-hmm. So I think we're trying to equip ourselves to be ready regardless of what happens. We'll still be able to follow through with a lot of the ideas that we're working on right now or starting to put into place.
And we're definitely going to be making more podcasts and going to be doing it semi-frequently, but hopefully you'll stay tuned and be able to watch our updates and our behind-the-scenes look at our creative endeavors. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Nathan, who are you looking at? Oh, you're looking at your camera.
Yeah.
I was like, who is Nathan looking at?
Yeah. I caught it was out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, okay, that's really, like, distracting.
My friend here, he was watching the podcast. It's our live studio audience.
Right,
yeah.
I thought you were pretending to look at Collin, but I was like...
Way off. Spatially, I'm a little, like, sometimes.
Yeah. We can fade out during this.